Hello friends, my name is Ranjit Bide. This is the first of the video clip that I am trying to do today in a series of clips that I intend to do and transmit to you. Uh, the name of the topics will be covered broadly under something called as Make More Rain, and you are a rainmaker. Now, why this name? The reason is rain means water, and water is associated with life, as they say in Hindi, जीवन, पानी को जीवन कहते हैं. And so making more rain means making more money, making more profit for your organization, and that's what we are all here in for. So the topics that you would tend to think that I would choose will be sales oriented, but it's not so. Rain can be made, that means the profits can be made not only by selling more, but also doing some things, and a lot of things actually, which will be done more effectively and managed well, controlled well, disciplined well, and you will make more money for your organization. So the first topic that I thought, as I said earlier, is not in the sales sales region, or not related to sales, but something which is very often the bone of contention in many organizations, and that topic is called receivables, what many people call it as debtors, right? So sounds familiar to you. Debtors are those people who own your money and they have not given you, or they have not paid you, right? So there are sundry debtors, and those are the people who will give you money, and once you have that in realized in your banks, you will account for them. uh, let's take a simple example, okay, why debtors and why this topic is so important. And I plan to do this in just about less than 10 minutes, and so that you don't get bored, and if you don't like this topic, then you can just skip it and maybe go to the next video next time. So coming back to the topic, receivables or debtors is something which gets generated over a period of time, and almost every time you do a sale, let's take an example, you have done a sale of, let's say, 1 crore, 1 crore of industrial equipment you have sold. I'm more talking about industrial selling rather than consumer selling or FMCG selling. You have sold an equipment of 1 crore with payment terms of, let's say, 20 70 10, which means that you took 20% advance before you started the work, then you made the equipment, offered it for testing, and before dispatching it to the customer, you got 70% money from the customer, and 10% is not yet given to you because it is said that it's retention money. Now this is where the issue starts. So you have sent the equipment and 10% the customer is holding back. uh, Both have good intentions. Customer wants you to pay, you want to collect the money, and you have good intention of making that equipment work for him. However, ideal things don't happen, do they? And therefore what happens is, you send the equipment, you install it, you commission it, and then there is a project guy in the customer's end who says, no, I can't sign this because something has not come, there is a short supply. Or after you have commissioned the equipment, he says the efficiencies are not coming, or the whatever, I mean, there could be 20 reasons, and he doesn't sign the sign off. So the 10% remains. Now this 10% retention, it was said at the start when you took the order, the 10% retention will be paid to you, let's say, within 1 month or 30 days of receipt of equipment at site, right? Now 30 days have passed, commissioning has happened, customer has not signed, so 30 days go, 60 days go, 90 days go, you are still struggling with your proving of efficiency or cycle times or whatever you have. It doesn't happen. After 180 days, the customer has become a little bit annoyed with you because he feels that you are not performed. Your guys feel this is all that you can do. So what has happened? That last 10% has remained in a limbo. You have not got it. The customer has not given it to you. That 10% has now entered into your debtors list. They have become receivables. And now, after 1 year, the auditor will question. He will let go. After 2 years, he will not let go. Finance department will come to you running. Boss, iska kya karna hai? You said, no, we have tried everything. The customer did not pay. What to do? Tough luck, this, that. At the same time, your sales guys are pursuing the same customer. Why? Because he's a good customer. He keeps on giving you orders. And the worst part is, your sales guys have kept on taking those orders with the same 20, 70, 10 payment terms. Now, that debt which the customer owes you was 10 lakhs. Maybe second supply took place of 2 crores, another 20 lakhs. And now it piles on. And customer after customer, it piles on. And soon you have a chunk of debts or chunk of debtors, a huge amount of pile of receivables, which your accounts guys are very prompt to point to you that you have not been collecting. Now, whose fault is it? Your fault as a sales guy, or operations fault who did not make the machine or equipment as the customer wanted, or the customer's fault that he's finding tricks in it not to pay you, or whose fault? Or accounts fault? No. It's you sales guys who will have to finally collect the money, because none of these guys, whether they were in supply chain or accounts or operations or wherever, they have never seen the face of the customer. So it's you as a sales guy who is responsible for collecting it. Now soon what will happen is that debt which was supposed to be collectible in 30 days has not been collected for 2 years, has now suddenly become a doubtful debt. The doubtful debt has then turned after some time into a bad debt. A bad debt turns into a case which is ripe for a write-off. So where have you got? Where have you reached? From 10 lakhs rupees which were collectible in 30 days, after 2 years, you have got to write it off. And where does the 10 lakh go from? It doesn't go from your top line. Unfortunately, it goes from the bottom line of that particular financial year. Right? So all these write-offs will come and visit you like sins of your past. Don't they say sins of your past will haunt you one day? So sins of your past will come and haunt you, and those are called write-offs. So there has to be a process for this, and there has to be a process to manage debtors. If this sounds familiar to you, and if this is what is happening to you, then you must take a very serious look and do what it takes to be done. Maybe you form teams, maybe you have a leader for that team. You go after those dates, collect those dates, and make the company that much money. This is also making rain, because that 10 lakhs of rupees which would otherwise go out of your bottom line as a write-off, which if you collect maybe 5 lakhs, maybe 7 lakhs, or maybe you have a deal with the customer, okay, whatever happened, you give me 8 lakhs and that's about it, 80-20, but you at least collected 8 lakhs and only 2 lakhs went out of your balance sheet or the P&L rather. So this is the way probably to have to deal with that. Now you have, it's not that you have actually helped your company in a great manner. Why? Because 10 lakhs you should have collected 2 years ago, which you are collecting now. But at least there's a durust hai, isn't it? So finally you have done something which is helping the company. Now what happens? Suppose you did a write-off and finally the equipment started working. Best luck. And the customer said, okay guys, we believe you and we want to give you more orders also, and here is your old 10 lakhs. So that, but you said you have written off. Hold on, there is a way to write back also. So you realize that as a write back. So it's not that write off means the money is gone forever and you forget forever, okay, till the company's life is over. No, write back can happen. So these are the ways, and so try to do this. Get into the receivables, get into line by line analysis of receivables. How to do that? Figure it out with your teams. Take a team leader, take a project and do it. If you want, I can help you. I've done lots of these things in last 30-35 years. Go to my website www.blueskyconsulting.in, or call me or send me an email ranjitebide@gmail.com, and we could help you to dilute your outstandings, your receivables, and help you get that money into the books. Thank you very much. Bye.